students. Today I am going to teach you Unit 3.6 The Concert. The Concert, Shanta Rao, 1930 to 2007, was a notable dancer from India. She was exponent of Bharatanatyam and also studied Kathakali and Kuchipudi. She was recipient of Padma Shri and Sangeet Natak Academy Award and Kalidas Sanman for music, dance and drama. This is a true story, but all the names except Pandit Ravi Shankar's and Ustad Allah Rakha's have been changed. Now let's start the unit. One morning, in a small apartment in Bombay, a girl of about 16 looked up from the newspaper and said excitedly, Pandit Ravi Shankar's playing tomorrow at the Sanmukhanand Auditorium. So from this paragraph, we can see that a girl about 16 years old read from the newspaper and excitedly said, Pandit Ravi Shankar is going to play tomorrow at Sanmukhanand Auditorium. Shh, said her mother, pointing to the figure sleeping on the bed. Then her mother, pointing to the figure, means pointing to a person who was sleeping on the bed, and said to her to be quiet. You will wake him up. You know he needs all the sleeps and rest he can get. So her mother told her that the person who was sleeping there needs some sleep and rest, and from her voice he would be wake up. Who was that person? He was the girl's brother. But the boy on the bed was not asleep. That boy who was sleeping there was not asleep. Pandit Ravi Shankar, he said, he also said excitedly that Pandit Ravi Shankar is going to play there. Pandit Ravi Shankar, the sitar maestro, he raised himself up on his elbows for 1 second, then fell back. So excitedly he said, Pandit Ravi Shankar, the sitar maestro, is going to play there. Then he raised himself on his elbows 1 second and then he fell back. But his eyes were shining. So he was so excited to hear that Pandit Ravi Shankar is going to play there. We mustn't miss the chance, he said. I have always wanted to hear him and see him. So he was so excited and he said that they should not miss the chance to listen the music notes which he would going to play, and he said he always wanted to hear him and see him. Lie down, son, lie down. His mother sprang to his side. He actually raised himself up without help. Then her mother told him that lie down, son, and then went his side and said he actually raised himself up without help. She murmured with a catch in her throat, and her eyes turned to the idols on the corner shelf. Then she murmured, means quietly spoken words. Then she quietly told herself that his son was raised himself without anyone's help, and catch in her thought, and her eyes turned to the idol on a corner shelf, means she looked at the idols of God. The prayer which she uttered endlessly came unbidden to her lips, and she continuously praying for her son, and that prayers came unbidden. Unbidden means without having been commanded or invited. So that prayers come uninvited to her lips. I must hear him and see him, the boy repeated. The boy was so excited, so he repeated that he must hear and see Ravi Shankar to play. It's the chance of a lifetime. Then he began to cough and gasp for breath and had to be given oxygen from the cylinder that stood under the bed. But his large eyes were fixed on his sister. So he said that it's the chance of a lifetime. So from this line we can see that that boy was so excited to meet him and listen him. Then he began to cough and gasp and for breath and had to be given oxygen from the cylinder that stood under the bed. So he was maybe ill, so he was given oxygen from the cylinder, but his large eyes were fixed on his sister. He was looking at her sister. He was waiting for the response of his sister. Smita bit her lip in self-reproach. She had been so excited at seeing the announcement that she had not remembered that her brother was very ill. Then Smita bit her lip in self-reproach. So she thought that she was becoming self-centered, and she had been so excited that she was not in a position to remember that her brother was so ill. From that announcement, she was so excited and she forget about her brother's illness. She had seen how the doctors had shaken their heads gravely and spoken words that neither she nor even her parents could understand. But somewhere deep inside, Smita had known the frightening truth that Anant was going to die. The word cancer had hung in the air. Her brother was dying of cancer, even though she pretended that all would be well and they would return together, a small family of 4, to their home in Gangapur. So from all these lines, we can understand that she felt very guilty and she thought that his brother was very ill and he was suffering from a very severe disease. So Smita and her family came to Bombay for the treatment of her brother Anand, who was suffering from cancer. Basically, they were from Gangapur. So she had a hope that one day they will cure her brother's illness and they would return to their hometown in Gangapur. And he was only 15 and the best table tennis player in the school and the fastest runner. He was learning to play the sitar. They were both taking sitar lessons, but Anant was better than her as in many other things. So her brother was only 15 years old and he was the best table tennis player in his school and the fastest runner, but now he was suffering from cancer. Smita and her brother Anant both were taking sitar lessons, but Anant was better than her in as many things. He was already able to compose his own tunes to the astonishment of their guru. He was trying to making notes, sitar notes, compose its own tunes, astonishment of their guru. And then cancer had stuck and they had to come to Bombay so that he could not be treated at the cancer hospital in the city. As their city, Gangapur, they would not be able to cure his cancer, so they came to Bombay to treat his cancer. Whenever they came to Bombay, they stayed with Aunt Sushila. Her apartment was not big, but there was always room for them. So whenever they came to Bombay for the treatment of Anand, they always stayed with Aunt Sunita. Her apartment was not very big, but there was always a space, always a room for them. They had come with high hopes in the miracles of modern science. So they came to Bombay for the treatment of Anand's disease with high hopes that there may be some miracles of modern science. They told themselves that Anand would be cured at the hospital and he would again walk and run and even take part in the forthcoming table tennis tournament. So they had high hopes and they have told themselves that Anand would be cured and he will be all right at the hospital, and after that he would take part in forthcoming means upcoming table tennis tournament and he would play the sitar, perhaps be a great sitarist one day. And they have also hope that he would one day play sitar and can become a great sitarist. But his condition grew worse with each passing day, and the doctors at the cancer hospital said, take him home, give him the things he likes, indulge him, and they knew then that the boy had not many days to live. So indulgement, to allow to enjoy the pleasure of something. But they have hopes, but actual condition was not good. His actual condition grew worse with each passing day. Day by day, he was becoming worse and worse. And the doctors told that take him home. and give him the things he likes, give him whatever he likes, and indulge means to allow to enjoy the pleasure of something, to allow him to enjoy what he wanted. And then they knew that that boy, that Anand, has not many days to live, but they did not voice their fears. They laughed and smiled and talked and surrounded Anand with whatever made him happy. They knew that he has not much time, but they did not let the fear overcome their hopes, and they laughed, smiled, and talked with Anand with happy moments, and they fulfilled his every need and gave him whatever he asked for. They fulfilled all his wishes, gave him whatever he wanted, and now he was asking to go to the concert, the chance of a lifetime, he was saying. Now he also knew that his condition was not good, so he said that the chance of a lifetime means he has the only chance to watch to play Ravi Shankar to play the sitar, and he was asking to go to the concert. When you are better, his mother said, this is not the last time they are going to play. His mother said that you are not okay now. When you are better, when you will feel better, then we will went to the concert. And this is not the last time that Ravi Shankar is going to play, and this is not your last time, that you are not going to see them in future. Smita too stood at the window looking at the traffic, her eyes wet with tears. Her mother whispered, but you, Smita, you must go. Your father will take you. After that, Smita stood at the window and she was looking at the traffic. Her eyes were wet with tears because she knew that her brother had no much time, and both of them were excited to see Ravi Shankar to play the sitar. Her mother whispered means talk softly, that you can go, Smita, and her father will take her. When she was alone with Aunt Shushila, Smita cried out in a choked voice. When she was alone with her Aunt Sushila, she was crying, and she said in choked voice, no, how can I? We have always done things together, Anant and I. So she was very sad, and she cried out that how can she alone went to the concert? Both of them have done many things together, everything together. Both siblings were very close to each other. Both of them played sitar, took lessons, and now she could not go alone at the concert. I walk in the park might make you feel better, said Aunt Sushila, and Smita was grateful for her suggestion. After that, her Aunt Sushila told her that they should go for a walk in the park so that she can feel much better. And Smita was grateful, means thankful for her suggestion to go for a walk. In the park, people were walking, running, playing ball, doing yogic exercises, feeding the ducks, and eating roasted gram and peanuts. Smita felt alone in their midst. She was lost in her thoughts. So while walking in the park, there were many people. Some were walking, running, playing ball, doing yoga, feeding ducks, and eating roasted grams and peanuts. But Smita was not watching all of this. She was lost in her thoughts about the concert and about her brother's illness. Suddenly, a daring thought came to her, and as she hurried home, she said to herself, why not? There is no harm in trying it. So, when she was lost in her thought, all of a sudden, a daring thought came into her mind, and she went home and said to herself, why not? There is nothing harm in trying that idea. It would be nice to go to the concert. I don't know when we will get another opportunity to hear Pandit Ravi Shankar, she said to her mother later, and her father agreed to get the tickets. So after that, Smita told her mother that it would be a nice chance to go to the concert, and they don't know when they would get another opportunity to hear Pandit Ravi Shankar. So then her father agreed and get her the tickets. The next day, as Smita and her father were leaving for the concert, her brother smiled and said, enjoy yourself. Though the words came out in pain, Gus, lucky you. So after that, When Smita and her father were about to leaving for the concert, her brother smiled. Anand smiled and said, "Enjoy yourself." And he gasped means he said that you are lucky that you can attend the concert. So that words were came out in a painful gasp. Sitting beside her father in the gallery, Smita heard as in a dream the thundering welcome the audience gave the great master. Smita was there with her father in the gallery. Smita heard as in a dream. She was there and she was thinking that she was watching a dream. Thundering welcome and audience gave the great master. Then the first notes came over the air and Smita felt as if the gates of a land of enchantment and wonder were opening. When the first note came over the air, Smita was feeling that the gates of land of enchantment. Enchantment means feeling a great pleasure. She was feeling a great pleasure, a great delight and wonder were opening. Spellbound, she listened to the unfolding ragas, the slow plaintive notes, the fast twinkling ones, but all the while the plan she had decided on the evening before remained firmly in her mind. Spellbound. Spellbound means held the complete attention of someone as though by magic or fascinate someone. So she was listening that fascinatingly and unfolding ragas came out one after one and the slow plaintive. Plaintive means sounding sad and mournful. So after one by one all notes came, but after all the plan was in her mind and she was stuck to her plan. The chance of a lifetime. The words were in her mind. The chance of a lifetime. These words were spoken by her brother Anand. She heard Anand's voice in every beat of tabla, and when she was listening the ragas, tablas, and all the time the voice of her brother Anand came to her mind. The concert came to an end. The audience gave the artist a standing ovation. The concert was very great and now it came to end. The audience gave a standing ovation to the artist. A large mustachioed having a long mustache man made a long boring speech. Then a man with a long mustache made a speech about the artist, but that was a boring speech. Then came the presentation of bouquets, then more applause and the curtains came down. The people began to move towards the exit. Now the finally concert was over and then they came for the presentation of bouquet to the guest and then more applause and curtain came to down and now people began to move towards the exit. So it was over. Now was the time. So it was the time of idea which what idea Smita's mind. Smita wriggled her way through the crowds towards the stage. Wriggle means twist and turn with a quick breathing movement. So she tried to get through the crowded place and went to the stage. Then she went up the steps that led to the wings, her heart beating loudly. And then she started going upstairs and the place where she led to the wings and her heart was beating loudly. In the wings, a small crowd had gathered to talk about the evening concert to help carry bouquet and teacups and instruments. So there was a small crowd of people and they were talking about the concert and they were helping to each other carrying bouquet and teacups and instruments. He was there. Who was there? Pandit Ravi Shankar. He was there standing with the man who played the tabla for him, the great wizard of music, Ustad Allah Rakha. So both the great masters were there, Pandit Ravi Shankar and Ustad Allah Rakha, who was a great wizard of music, who was playing tabla there. Her knees felt weak, her tongue dry, and she was very nervous. She felt her knees weak and tongue dry, but she went up and standing before them, her hands were folded. "Oh, sir," she burst out. So she went there and get courage and then with her folded hands she said that, "Oh, sir," and now she started speaking. "Yes," he asked questioningly but kindly. and her story came pouring out, the story of her brother who lay sick at home and of how he longed to hear him and the Ustad play. So now Ravi Shankar asked, yes, questioningly. Questioningly means curious with questioning manner. Asked what's her matter, and then she started telling about everything about her brother who was sick, who was suffering from cancer, who could not attend the concert, and he longed to hear him and the Ustad to play. Will you come to Aunt Shushila's house and play for him? She asked at the end breathlessly. Please, she begged, please come. So after telling the whole her life story to Pandit Ravi Shankar, she asked at the end breathlessly that will you please come to Aunt Shushila's house and play for him, means play for Anant. Please, she was begging. She said, please come. Little girl, said the masked man who had made the long speech. So after hearing that, a man who made the long speech told that girl that Panditji is a very busy man. You must not bother him with such request. He said that Panditji is a very busy person. She should not request such type of coming to her home and to play, and she should not bother him much. But Pandit Ravi Shankar smiled and motioned him to be quiet. So after hearing her, Pandit Ravi Shankar told that man not to say anything, and he smiled. He turned to Ustad Sahib and said, what shall we do, Ustad Sahib? Then he turned to the Ustad Allah Rakha and said, what should we do, sir? The Ustad moved the wad of pan from one cheek to another. Tomorrow morning we perform for the boy. Yes, he said. So after having a pan from one cheek to another, Ustad said that they will come and perform for that boy, for Anant, the next day. Yes, Panditji replied, it's settled then. Then Panditji said, yes, it's settled. We will come tomorrow and play for your brother. It was a very excited Smita who came home late that night. Anant was awake, breathing the oxygen from the cylinder. So Smita was so excited that her plan came to end and she was successful and she came late home, and Anant was awake. She came late, but her brother was awake to hear about the concert. He was breathing from the cylinder. Did you hear him? He whispered. He said and asked her, did you hear them? I did, she replied. Smita said, yes, I heard them. And I spoke to him, and he will come tomorrow morning with the tabla ustad and they will play for you. And she gave her brother surprise and she said that she spoke to them and they will come tomorrow morning with tabla ustad and they will play for him. The following morning, Aunt Sushila's neighbors saw two men get out of a taxi which pulled up outside their block. They could not believe their eyes. Is it? It's not possible, they said. And the next morning, the neighbor of Aunt Shushila saw two men. Which of two? Pandit Ravi Shankar and Ustad Allah Rakha. Both of them came in the taxi and they are coming to their home. Their neighbors were talking that it's not possible. These two people can't come and play for a boy. Pandit Ravi Shankar and Ustad Allah Rakha went up a wooden staircase and knocked softly on the door of Aunt Sushila's apartment. Then Pandit Ravi Shankar and Ustad Allah Rakha came to her home and they went up a wooden staircase, knocked the door softly, and they went in, sat down on a divan by the window and played for the boy, surrounding him with a great and beautiful happiness as the life went out of him gently, very gently. So after that, they all settled down and with by the window of the divan, they played for the boy. They played for Anant and surrounded with great beautiful happiness as life went out of him. As everyone know that he has not much time, they gave him full happiness and played with gently, very gently. So, this unit was based on true event occurred in the life of Smita, in which she made convince the two great personalities to come to her place and play for her brother, who was suffering from cancer and did not have enough time, and he was not able to attend the concert, but they came and play for him and fulfill his wish. So it was a unit in which it is said that we can do any task with our strong belief. Now we are finishing our unit.